Yesterday, there was an all-out revolt after Robinhood blocked all of their customers from being able to buy any shares of companies like GameStop and a handful of other stocks. They have seen insane volume in those with skyrocketing prices, obviously driven by the fine folks at Wall Street Bets. We had a lively debate about that on yesterday's show, and if you haven't seen that, it is definitely worth a watch. So what happens to those Robinhood customers when they actually do cancel Robinhood? They're not going to just stop investing, right? They're going to open up a brokerage account somewhere else. We are all about detecting those kind of changes and making money from it. So today on Dumb Money, we find the ultimate trade if there is a max exodus from Robinhood.
This is Dumb Money Live with Chris Camillo, Dave Hansen, and Jordan McLean, streaming live on YouTube. We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. This is Dumb Money Live. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that now. It does keep us on the air, and it will prevent Robinhood from blocking your ability to watch this video. Not at all. But Chris, Jordan, this story is completely crazy. I bought some GameStop shares after hours yesterday as soon as I heard that Robinhood was going to allow their customers to actually buy the shares again in a limited capacity. It turns out that I think it's customers can buy 5 shares per account.
Correct.
It's actually the only thing in my portfolio that's doing well today. Amazon's down, Tesla's down, Apple's down.
My NGA is up. It was up like 13%, but now it's only up like 3 or 4%. I don't know.
NGA's up, man. I'll tell you what I did. I was not comfortable with my GameStop position today. So.
Really?
I doubled down and bought more. Yeah.
When did you buy it? Did you buy it during the market hours today?
Yeah, I bought it during the market hours today. I made a decision that I wanted to own GameStop through this weekend. So I went back to kind of my core position, which is essentially 20,000 shares of GameStop, right? I think it's 20,000. I don't know. It's
20,000 shares.
Half a million bucks. Half a million bucks. I'm sorry. $500,000 of GameStop. I wanted to have that through the weekend. So I doubled down. I haven't sold any of my AMC. I kept that. Remember, did you see my tweet the other day when I had a spam like text or something from was it WhatsApp? Like a WhatsApp spam message that just had the naked ticker on it.
NAKD? Or is that
I didn't even know what that was, but you know, something inside me, I had a gut instinct, and something inside me just made me go, I'm gonna seem like an idiot, all right? But it's something that just made me just go buy it. I bought 50,000 shares, 40,000
didn't even look
shares.
at what it was. You just saw the ticker naked is randomly sent to you in spam on WhatsApp, and you just went and bought some of it.
It was a social experiment. It is a social experiment. I bought 40,000 shares of it. I'm not looking back. I'm going to hold that through the weekend as well. It's doing okay today. I don't even want to know, okay? I don't even want to know. But today we actually have something real. We actually had something really real to talk about today. And we canceled that episode because this 16-year-old Gambitwits who wants us to know he's not a financial advisor. We can totally understand that at age 16.
No, we're not either.
He's in our we're not financial advisors either. We're just here for entertainment and research and education. I don't know, man. We don't know your risk tolerance.
About investing. If you're new to investing and this stuff is going on, you turn to people who have been doing this for a while and just like, what do they think about it?
I don't know how I feel about there being
definitely don't go buy 1,000 shares of GameStop just because Chris did, and that would be $500,000. It's about 1,000 shares. That's what you must have, not 20,000.
Couple 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares in. Yeah, I have 2,000.
You have $1 million worth.
No, GameStop's at like 300 or
it's
something.
It's at 280 right now. I think.
Yeah, so I have 2,000 shares. Yeah. So here's the deal. He's in our Discord. Did a high conviction report with help from Nepa Titel, who's also not a financial advisor. I don't know if he's 16 or not, but says deserves more credit. This is kind of on my mind, but I'm glad that we have a community to kind of raise these opportunities because, guys, everyone's talking about leaving Robinhood today, right? Like you saw what happened. I wore the Robinhood shirt in our episode tomorrow. burn it.
You
I
got
have to put-
canceled. You
I
were
got
literally
canceled.
in the middle of the episode. We had to delete you from the show and make you change your wardrobe, and then you came back.
Dave canceled Chris.
I had to call you and beg me to put me back in the show, and I will probably. They'll probably demand that I have to burn it at some point. I don't know. Listen, here's the deal. There is an exodus. How big is to be determined. Whether it will impact Robinhood long term is to be determined. But the one thing we could all agree on here, and I know this for a fact, is there is an exodus of some degree from Robinhood. Where are they going? That's the question. Did you see, guys, Webull pulled up to the number 2 app in the App Store today? Number 2 behind Robinhood? Okay.
Well,
So-
and Webull has they're not a public company, so we can't trade them, and that's why we, aren't looking at them as an investment unless they're available through the private market. But they did. If you think about what Webull did, they built an interesting platform that is a little more like newsy and graphics and like charty, and it's like a Bloomberg terminal version of Robinhood where there's just access to a little bit more data and research. And then they partnered up with everyone on YouTube and all these influencers who are offering 4 free stocks down in the description, which, by the way, this channel, you're not going to find 4 free stocks in our description. We would love to give you 4 free stocks, but we're not going to sell out to any brokerage app to do it. So
We don't sell out to the man, except for
We
Chris
don't
with his Robinhood t-shirt.
Hey, you guys like anti-establishment? We won't even accept your money. Like, we won't. If we sell you something through our merch store, it's at cost. There's no programs. There's no seminars. There's no private VIP Discord rooms.
no, our Discord
dude.
is free. dumbmoney.tv/Discord if you want an invite there. Everything we do, we do for you, and we are not trying to make money off of you other than your good ideas. So the 16-year-old who had a good idea and posted it to our Discord, the way we're going to make money is we're going to read that report, and if we like it, we're going to buy the stock, and if we don't like it, we're going to say, oh, that's some interesting stuff.
And we had a really good idea that we were going to do today, but we postponed that show until Monday. So, guys, if you want to hear the true, pure social arb trade that we want to discuss, that's Monday's episode. So not only give us a like, but hit that bell so you get reminded of Monday's episode. That's one that we all invested in. By the way, again, we're not financial advisors. Don't copy our trades. This is for you to research on your own. Make your own decisions, guys. I don't know.
And people are asking about M1 as well. M1's not a public company either. So we're basically on this episode, we need to make money. And the way we're going to do that is try to find investable brokerages that are, as people leave Robinhood, where could they go? And it really comes down to the 2 logos that are on the thumbnail. SoFi, which is not yet public, but it's merging with a SPAC and is going to be public. And Schwab, which also has merged with TD Ameritrade, and so they're kind of the other publicly traded mega broker.
There's actually one more, Dave, that we're forgetting about, and that is Square App, and they were up yesterday when this whole thing started to go down.
Good call. Was
Yep.
that in the report? Because I didn't read the report.
Yep. No, I didn't. I don't think it was in the report, but the report was still great. I do know that Square App offers some of this stuff too.
So here's the deal, guys, and it's IPOE is the Chamath SPAC that's merging with SoFi. And by the way, I had a small position in it going into today. And reading that report, there was nothing. Listen, the report was good only because it was timely and it surfaces an opportunity that we should all be thinking about, right? The report didn't do any super deep research, but I love the fact that this kid is just thinking. He's thinking about opportunity. He's thinking about change. Listen, as social arb traders, we're all about identifying change and then connecting that change to investable opportunities. And some of it's so obvious. Like, this is such an obvious show, but a lot of people just don't connect the dots quickly enough. And connecting the dots even an hour quicker or a day quicker or a week or 2 quicker sometimes makes a big difference. So I give him credit. Here's the thing, guys. I think we should look at a Google Trends chart to see, is it even trending that people are leaving Robinhood? I just pulled one up. Like, cancel Robinhood, right? Should be a tag. Let's see. Like, if I pull a 7-day.
Chart.
Oh wow, it is definitely up. I pulled a 12-month and it's up. 7 days definitely up as well. But I think if you pull like a let's see, the 12-month.
Which term are you searching for here?
The 12-month of cancel Robinhood. I think the author of the report used a different tag in his, and I will pull that up. Let me see what tags he's using, because cancel probably isn't the best word. He's using close Robinhood. Okay, is what he's using. So
I saw somebody ask about E-Trade. Is E-Trade part of Schwab now too, Dave?
No, E-Trade merged with a different one. Was that Merrill Lynch?
Is
they
it?
pull up close Robinhood. It's better. Okay, close Robinhood has more underlying data to look at, and you can pull a 12-month on that. And I think what's really interesting is, man, January 28th is when they just got knocked. But yeah, pull a 12-month close Robinhood.
Okay.
That shows you that we're definitely, listen,
Okay, people
we're
are saying
definitely
that
hitting a high.
That Morgan Stanley picked up E-Trade.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you know what's better than that, Dave? Here's what's
Because
more impressive
Merrill is Bank of America.
Yeah.
Pull the
Which-
5-year, Dave. The 5-year will capture the event that we thought was going to be a big deal that wasn't, which was, the year ago when Robinhood
Big
went
outage?
down. Yeah, the outage, and it really didn't. They really didn't lose that many accounts. So if this was in that neighborhood, I would say, probably not a big deal. But look at where we are. We're
It was an all-time high if you were to chop off the rest of this. So March 15th, they hit an all-time high. That was when they had their the website didn't work. You couldn't place a trade during the most volatile money-making opportunity of all time. And then again, looks like an all-time high August through September. It looks like I can't get that to stay there.
Mhm.
Okay, so August 23rd through 29th. What was that? Maybe the infinite money glitch? Or
Yep.
no, that happened before actually.
It happened before. They've never really lost any clients to any degree in any of those situations. But
What about like leave Robinhood? Would that be better?
I think they're all going to trend roughly the same.
Yeah. Man.
But what's interesting is this is less about Robinhood, because leave Robinhood's not good. This is less about Robinhood and more about opportunity, because what I think happened today and yesterday is more about opening up total addressable market. So I'll call it, kind of the achievable addressable market for any new entrant in the space. Now, we have E-Trade and Ameritrade, Schwab, obviously, Fidelity, the incumbents, but we also have a number of new players like Public, they're private, right? And a lot of these companies are essentially social. Public's like a social networking front, marketing end that just has a white label to a back end brokerage, right? Yeah. So here's the thing. I think the biggest takeaway is there's an opportunity now for another monster to come in, because Robinhood really owned the space. Let's be honest. There were others, but they were minuscule in size. Even StockTwits, right? Like StockTwits had a brokerage app, but all these guys were minuscule compared to Robinhood because they didn't really have that social momentum. They didn't have that cool factor, that cultural stickiness, right? None of them really had it to where you felt you were part of the movement, because Robinhood did start the movement.
Yeah, this is the moment where everyone who Robinhood, even from their brand positioning, is we are robbing from the rich, giving to the poor. We're here for the little guy. We're democratizing investing. We're doing all the things that we're a fan of. We love the idea of individual investors being able to play on the same playing field as Wall Street banks. Now, with this tarnishing their reputation in a way that they haven't yet seen before, and they've been able to bounce back from a PR standpoint from every other thing that's happened along the way, including not being able to trade on the biggest, most volatile day of
market history.
Market history, exactly. But this is the time when everyone's trying to gather market share. So I'm seeing that like Webull, his CEO, is out there saying we do not restrict trading of any names. And they're trying to just telegraph to all of those Robinhooders, we want you to come to Webull. They're all in a land grab for that potential of someone closing the Robinhood account.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the land grab. I mean, but I think, when people are starting to look around for other brokerages right now, I mean, some of them are going to land at Webull, but everybody else could pick some up too. And so TD Ameritrade is going to pick some up. What we know is that TD Ameritrade, since they've got such big backing by Charles Schwab, that they're able to handle some of this bigger order flow. They've got bigger reserves, and so they can meet the regulatory requirements to allow people to keep on trading.
Yeah, and by the way, Jordan, I think he focused a lot on Schwab that owns TD. Yep. I'm going to say right now, they will be a net winner here. That's fine. I bought shares. I bought $250,000 of Schwab today, and Schwab was down a little bit I have that. That's great. I think they're going to have a great quarter here with this market activity, kind of regardless. I think they probably will pick up some accounts, but I don't know that it's a needle mover for Schwab or TD Ameritrade because they're so large, right? It's really hard to move
But
the
no,
needle.
I mean, look, it's a positive for them because we know that they pay to get accounts, right? And so all these guys they need accounts. So this is like a real free. This is like a free land grab for Robinhood account right now.
Yeah, Jordan, they're not going to capture the cultural movement that Robinhood started at Schwab or Ameritrade. That is where I'm focused. I think the monster opportunity, and again, I understand this, it's not about proving me wrong or proving what I'm about to say wrong this year, because it could be proved wrong. I don't know if what I'm about to say is actually going to play out. What's more important about what I'm about to say is the market's perception that it might play out, okay? I think that this sets the stage for the guy with the loudest megaphone on earth right now after Elon Musk, after Elon, right now in the financial world is Chamath, right? We know, we've been talking about him for 2 weeks, okay? He has the megaphone and he's using it, okay? He used it specifically to come out and basically say that, hey, we can do what Robinhood does at SoFi, his new SPAC, right? We can do that. We can take over that. He is coming hard for Robinhood, okay? And he has the voice. He has the, by the way, let me just take 30 seconds here. Vlad's CNBC, Bloomberg, and CNN interviews last night. Yesterday I got crap for it. I said, listen, I want to give him a chance. I am an investor in Robinhood. We all know that. We all are. I want to give him a chance, hear him out. I gave him a chance. He failed. Okay? I tweeted at him. I said, you got to explain this. He didn't explain it. I went back at him. I said, you need to clarify this. He wouldn't. He didn't clarify it on any of his interviews at all. And he failed. The bottom line is, in my interpretation is, they simply didn't have the money to sustain the volatility and the cash reserves that were required for yesterday's volatility. Robinhood customers suffered because of it. That is on him. That is a management issue. That's a planning issue. And all he had to do yesterday to win me back, somewhat, I think to win a lot of people back, quite honestly, because we're forgiving people, all he had to do is say, hey, this is what happened. I screwed up. I was growing too fast. I should have cut off new accounts months ago. I got greedy. We're number one in the App Store, and all we care about is getting new accounts. We either didn't know because we were incompetent, or we knew and didn't care that if something like this were to happen, we would have to turn off stocks for our customers, and you guys get screwed because of that. We either made a decision that we didn't care or we didn't know. Either way, me as CEO, I screwed up big time. I'm going to work my butt off the next 10 years to make it up to every one of you. I am the worst right now. I am the worst, okay? If he would have said that on any of those interviews, I think he would have had a chance to capture people back, all right? But he didn't. He sounded like a PR person. I almost threw my table at the television, right, when I was watching him. That's how pissed off I was. And I'm here today to say, no way. I think that Chamath and SoFi have a chance to basically go head-to-head with Robinhood at some point if they choose to do so and really put pedal to the metal. And I think he's going to. Now, I don't know if he will succeed because you know how people are. They forget. And by the way, 95% of people might not even know what happened at Robinhood. They're not even paying attention. I don't know. But I think the market is going to give Chamath a chance with SoFi, and they're going to bid that thing up. So I have like 400K in SoFi now.
Really?
So does SoFi, is it a trading? I've never even downloaded SoFi. It's just another trading app.
So let's talk about SoFi. Dave, you want to talk about it first?
Yeah, you can talk about it. I'm pulling up the website so we can show it.
Okay, so SoFi has a lot of big ambitions. They haven't really pulled off a lot of those ambitions yet. They're under $1 billion of revenue. They're not really a digital bank because they don't have a banking charter yet. They want to get one. Yes, you can trade through SoFi. You can track through SoFi. They can help manage your loans, right? They help manage your money. So they're kind of like this very light front for finance, for personal finance. But they want to do a lot of really big things. And they bought a company that does a lot of the back end tech. They kind of pitch it as an AWS for finance, essentially. But they do have Galileo is a company that they own that is kind of like, I wouldn't really call it the AWS for finance, but they do a lot of those back end pieces.
Here's on the screen, this is their kind of lineup of all the things they do. Didn't they kind of get started with home loans? Wasn't that kind of where they first made a name as being a new, different way to get a home loan, and then they got into personal loans and all of these other things, and now a new credit card I see, but now they're an investing app.
Do you know what, Dave? They were kind of a mess. Honestly, like SoFi was kind of a noisy mess, and then with this whole Chamath getting behind them, like I think they really have a shot here with the SPAC, the public attention, with Chamath kind of being their cheerleader. They have a real shot here. And I think the market saw that today. They're up. I was not afraid to put in, triple, quadruple what I had, quad down on today, even with them being up, because I feel that this is a narrative that is likely to continue to go on with Chamath and his megaphone, right? Every day for the next God knows how long, man. I don't know if he's going to keep doing this for weeks, months, years, but it's kind of like Elon. You got a guy that has the attention of the world, you got to throw some money at him, right? And this is his thing.
Well, you're in luck, Chris, because you could take your $40 million portfolio and transfer it over to SoFi, and they'll give you a $75 sign-up bonus.
Ooh, are you going to do it, Chris?
No. No, I'm not going to do it. But listen, I think a lot of people are, and I think brands like this, they need a public figure to rally the troops, right? It has to be a cultural movement, and I really think they have a shot. Okay, and I'm not saying they're going to pull it off. I think they've had some issues in the past. But I think they at least have a shot with it, okay? And so someone's saying here, Robinhood's built on Galileo, along with Chime and a couple others. It's an interesting.
How are you going to feel about SoFi compared to Robinhood when it comes to robustness of their platform, robustness of their support, all of the things that we've always been skeptical about Robinhood? Robinhood has had years now to kind of fix some of the plumbing problems behind the scenes, and SoFi's brand new. Is it solid enough? Are they relying on enough existing partners that are actually doing things for them to? It makes me nervous.
We can't. Here's what I want to get back to, Dave. I think like I'm a broken record the last couple of weeks when it comes to this social arb methodology, because in a lot of these trades that we've been working on, it's not about whether they can pull it off. Like all the EV SPACs we've been investing in, it's not about will they actually pull this off over the next 5 years and go from 200 million to 5 billion or 4 billion in 4 years, which is what they're all saying they're going to do, okay? I don't want to go in deep and spend a month of my life trying to visiting the company, figure out if they could actually do that, because it doesn't matter this year, right? So like, that's a problem that I can kick down the road. Can SoFi actually pull this off if they were to get 15 million accounts, 20 million accounts, and be an active online broker, and potentially, if they get their bank charter, I mean, like, can they actually pull that off? I don't care, because I'm not worried about it. We're not going to know that for the next 6 to 9 months. So why do I care about it, right? I just don't care. I think the market right now, the way that it's looking at these companies is it's giving them the benefit of the doubt. Wouldn't you guys agree everyone gets the benefit of the doubt right now in this market?
No, I think that's exactly how it works. And we're not looking for them to actually be successful. We're just looking for them to have momentum towards success. And not have a major meltdown the way Robinhood has multiple times in their earlier days.
Listen, I think a year from now, there might be a social arb trade on SoFi, and that arb trade might be that, hey, we're actually seeing that they're capable of doing this, or we're capable of seeing that they're not capable of doing this, and so it might be on the short side. I'm not allowed to use that word short anymore. Are you allowed to short a stock anymore and not get canceled? I don't even know. I don't even.
It's so stupid that the idea of being able to short is a bad thought now, because that's the way you don't have to be a hedge fund to need to be able to hedge your investments. Individual investors need to have the same tools that hedge funds have had since the beginning of time, right? Since the idea of stocks even existed, we should have all the power through every brokerage app. There should be no restrictions other than liquidity. Like, if you don't have the money, then you shouldn't be allowed to
Like if
trade.
you have unsettled cash or something like that.
You shouldn't have to worry about your bank not having enough money. They shouldn't be in a position where they have to shut off your trading because they don't have enough money to cover everyone else that isn't you.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I will give Chamath. Listen, I've been kind of rough on him. I'm trying to figure out how much of him is actually the real deal and how much is just, fluff, like just trying to rile people up. He put out a really eloquent tweet chain. I think it was today, on why this is so unfair when it comes to institutions shorting. Because what happens is when they short, they take $1, right? For every $1, they get to buy $15 of stock if they're willing to short $15 of a stock, right? So it's really interesting the way that all that works, because the truth is these guys go out there and they have so much leverage because they're actually shorting these stocks, and then they're going to dinners, right? And I've been to some of these dinners, so I know exactly what he was saying. They're idea dinners, and they're really nice. They have them at super nice places. You're sitting there with a table of hedge fund managers and really smart people, and you're just hanging out, and you go around the table, and usually there's one primary person that's sharing their ideas, all right? So I was at one of these, and I was sharing my ideas with the table. And the concept is, if they like your ideas, they get kind of an early look, and maybe they pile on board. So if you have short ideas, you can share those as well. And because you're seen as this influential kind of smart money person, you get momentum behind your trade, knowing that there's a delay between the time that you actually share these trades internally with your Wall Street buddies and the time that they get posted publicly for the world to see. So by the time the world sees them, then they start piling in. But here's the tricky thing. Hedge funds don't post shorts, right? You can't see their short positions. So what they do is they actually go out and they buy put positions as well, knowing that the put positions will get publicized, and the retail traders and the industry at large, meaning all the other hedge funds, they will all see their put positions. And Wall Street, everybody knows this, right? It's a herd mentality. It's not smart money. It's actually just a herd mentality, people following other people. So they see that so-and-so has puts. That means he also likely has a monster short position, and then they pile in. And it's kind of your little secret way of kind of publishing that you have a major short.
Without publicly saying, hey, by the way, we're a giant short in this, you can signal it discreetly.
So here's...
Puts.
But Dave, here's the thing. When you go now, when that short position starts to spiral, because we see it, and this happened, what happened the last week happens, and you get squeezed, all of a sudden you're 15 times leverage on that, right? And so you start selling your equity positions off, but the long positions aren't enough to cover the squeeze that now is worse than a 2x loss, right? And that's when you get into trouble. That's why Melvin Capital got into so much trouble and they had to get bailed out. So it really is completely unfair the way that they're allowed to manipulate and take advantage of leverage to basically, for every dollar, they're allowed to have so much extra leverage where we don't get that. So the public, for the retail investors to get that same leverage, you have to share the idea with 15 friends, right? So that's what's happening. And there are no idea dinners. You know what the idea dinner is? It's Wall Street Bets. It's our Discord channel, right? That's the idea dinner. We're having dinners 24 hours a day. We just don't get nice wine and scotch, and it doesn't cost $5,000. We just get it.
They weren't prepared for the internet to use the internet for doing internet things, right? It's basically they were sitting there thinking we can have all these private meetings and do all of these things, and the little guy, the Robinhood investor, is not going to have any way to do it. They didn't realize, and I don't think they put any value in what was going on in Wall Street Bets. We've known about Wall Street Bets for years. They really bubbled up a year ago. This
isn't the first time this has happened, though, Dave. I mean, in the early days of the internet, there was a short squeeze that came out of one of these Yahoo message boards too. So this is not totally not. I mean, they should have seen that this could happen.
And by the way, guys, I came up with a way to fix the whole system. You want to know what it is?
Yes.
Just don't do anything at all. It's taking care of itself right now. So it's like, but the power that the retail investors are pressuring on Wall Street, the threat of this happening is solving the problem, right? So it's dirty, it's messy, but it actually is solving the problem, and that's what no one realizes. Do you think you're going to take a major short position now, knowing this? Anytime a stock gets out there with a massive short position, like
people are watching for it. When they see that 140% mark, they're like, "Oh, here's a target."
Yeah.
All Redditors unite.
Listen, it will take care of itself. By the way, I already started working on that Reddit IPO. I've sent out some emails. I'm trying to find us some allocation in Reddit. Not allocation in the IPO. I'm trying to see if I can get us some shares in Reddit. I'm super excited about it now. But back to our thesis on today's show, the exodus from Robinhood, it's not just about the people they're losing now. This is very important. It's about the 20 million investors that Robinhood was going to get the next 2 years, okay? The 20 million they were going to get the next 2 to 3 years, and I do believe they would have gotten those people, because, listen, investing now is becoming ubiquitous. You have to invest now. You have to have an account. Those accounts, they might only get half of them. They might only get a third of them. They might get 2/3. I don't know, but a big chunk of those accounts, millions to tens of millions, are potentially going to go to a new leader in this space. Maybe it's Webull, but I think SoFi has a chance, right?
Yeah.
And I think people are going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I like it. That's my trade. I'm not a financial advisor. Please don't copy it, but do your own research, poke holes in it, make fun of me, get in Discord, tell me why SoFi does not have the legs, what they do not have the momentum. Let us know. If you convince me, I'll sell the position, right? Like,
my biggest worry is that it's not about SoFi itself, but it's about how big of a pain it is to get, to transfer everything over, right? And so especially when you're in the middle of something like the events that have been happening the last few days, you need to be able to be active in the market. But if you wait for all your funds to settle so that you can then transfer the money out and then you transfer it into SoFi, I mean, that could be a 3 or 4 day ordeal. Right?
But Jordan, you might not be looking at it the right way, because you're looking at it as someone that has an established account with stuff to transfer. Most of these kids have multiple accounts, and they're like, yeah, I got a little money in Robinhood. I got a little money in Public. They'll open up a SoFi account. It's like, for the next 5 years, which one are they going to put their money into, right? So like, they might keep their Robinhood account.
Yeah, so it's still there. They just start to lean on this one, and then over time they'll.
Listen, you got to remember this. I would say that the average 20 to 30-year-old, the money that they have in their brokerage account, however much it is probably 5% of what it will be in 15 years.
Oh, for sure. So we're competing for what, and that's Robinhood's whole thing. I mean, they're trying to compete for future dollars. So if they can get the accounts right now, they know that those accounts will grow over time.
Yeah, but you know how long it takes to open up an account with SoFi? 5 minutes, same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll have dual accounts going, right?
Totally.
I like it. Can I talk about another trade randomly that I made? I tweeted about. It's so stupid. I don't know if I'm losing money on it or not. I thought it was a fun one. It's a short squeeze on a stock that doesn't have a big short interest. They have like a 4 or 5% short interest, which makes the short squeeze concept kind of stupid. But I thought it was the narrative, I just visually see Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Bear finally started getting some social buzz today. And like, some people are like, let's get Build-A-Bear, man. They're the best. And it's actually a company, you can make a fundamental case. Jordan, it's under 100 million market cap. Very small short interest. Got it. But It's a type of company where you could actually make a fundamental case that maybe they should be valued higher, 50% to 100% higher. It's Build-A-Bear, man, and like it's I could see it taking off if it is able to get enough momentum, right, in terms of social buzz over the weekend, maybe next week. I put some money in it. It's kind of for fun. Like I said, the most adorable short squeeze of all time, if it actually ends up happening.
I have zero confidence in this one.
I have. You know what my confidence is in this? 2%, maybe 5% out of 100. That's my confidence. I put it in because I like following some of these. It's almost like an alt cryptocurrency, right? And this is like a really this is like Dogecoin. It's no different. I want to talk about Dogecoin in a minute too, by the way. But this Build-A-Bear could be the Dogecoin here. Okay. Is there any reason to really buy it? Is there a huge short squeeze going to take place? No. But if enough people start buying Build-A-Bear and start putting Build-A-Bear memes out there, I don't know. Maybe it happens. By the way, I cannot get Dogecoin. 2 weeks ago, Dave, when I was pinging you on Dogecoin.
By the way, it's not Dogecoin.
What?
It's not Dogecoin.
Doge.
Doji.
Sorry. What?
Doji. Right?
Doji. Whatever. I don't care. It's Dogecoin to me. Doge. The Doge crypto. Whatever, dude. Doji. Whatever. 2 weeks ago, I thought I called you and sent you a text, Dave, and I was like, I'm trying to buy some of this because...
Yeah, we talked about it, and I think that the only way to do it was going back through that Chinese...
Oh, wait, I'm wrong, too. I thought it was Doji. Am I wrong?
No.
People are saying that we're both wrong. I thought it was Doji. We're just boomers over here.
Guys, let me tell you, call me whatever you want, okay? The only thing that matters is the trade, dude. I don't care what you call the trade. I don't care. At the end of the day, it's all green, all right? I don't care. Listen, here was my thesis. I want to go over my thesis on whatever the hell you call this thing.
It's pronounced...
Doji.
Dogi? Is it Dogi?
Dohi. Fine, Dohi.
I don't know.
It's Doge.
If you remember my thesis, it was Elon had mentioned it in the past. I think just the chance that he's likely to mention it again, whether as a joke or for real, that alone made it worthwhile throwing some money in. And I was prepared to put in 50,000 at the time. And that 50,000 would be about 350,000, I think, 350,000 now. If I could have figured out how to open up something. But at the time, I was having issues opening up an account. So last night, I was up till 3 a.m. again, desperately trying to get one of these accounts open with like Bittrex. I was trying to get one open. I called you for, Dave, at one point. Tried to get an account open. And I have some of these old accounts. They were all crashing all night. My validation on my passport, I'm still waiting on the validation to come through. It's such a pain in the butt.
They did it. I don't know. Do you know what one mystery I did solve is how to say it, according to now...
Oh, here we go.
Doge.
Well, that was close. I think I was
Doge.
closer than Chris.
Well, now I feel like an idiot, but...
Yeah. What else is new?
Doge. I know, guys.
Doge.
Every time you say something wrong, I'll just have this pronunciation machine in the...
You just send that out?
Yeah.
So Gemini, can you buy Doge through Gemini? Because I Googled Gemini Doge. And it said that you could only track it through Gemini. You couldn't buy it through Gemini. So I just kind of passed that one. So tell me, guys, where should I go? Where can I go today to buy this? Just tell me where to go that I could spend less than 5 hours to figure out a way to buy Doge today, tonight, whenever. Not a single person can tell me. There's lots of comments. Nobody can tell me how to do it. Binance will not work in Texas, or Binance US
But
will
people
not
are buying
work
the
in
shit out of it
Texas.
somehow. I don't know.
So people were saying Robinhood. Now wait a second. You're saying Robinhood? Hold on. Yesterday I was canceled.
That there was an
There's
issue
be
with
anti-speculative
buying, crypto with Robinhood this morning. Is that resolved?
I don't know. But I did open up an account with Robin. Here's the thing. I wasn't going to say it, but now everyone's saying it. As a backup. If
They
I
are
can't
now
figure...
recanceling you, Chris.
If I cannot
are you
Listen,
going to
you
use
can't
it as a
cancel
backup
Robinhood
if you
and then
don't
get a
cleanse the
Robinhood account.
Listen, I will. Here's the thing. I opened up an account with Robinhood an hour ago, and I put $25,000 in to get my Doge if I'm able to trade it. But they said it would take 4 to 5 days. So like, here's the deal. If I can't figure out another way to do it in the next 4 to 5 days, I'm going to be forced to do it through Robinhood. And then as soon as I get an account open someplace else, I don't know, I'll transfer it like you can do, right? With these stupid things. Like I'll do that. But I'm desperate, guys. I'm desperate. Voyager. I'm just going to start writing these down. So Kraken's giving me issues, guys. I can't get Kraken to work.
I have an
It's not-
account. I'm not buying your Doge for you though.
Why not? Did you buy Doge for yourself?
Do you know what kind of a tax problem I'll have if I bought Doge for you and then had to figure out how much I paid for it and the IRS.
Guys, all right. Binance won't work, guys. I already told that. We're in Texas. They don't do Texas. So whatever. I got at least got one here.
Can't you get a
Voyager.
VPN and then say like you're somewhere else?
Yeah, get a VPN.
That's illegal, dude.
I don't do it. I'm just saying some people do it.
I know. You know, I am a straight up ethical person. You know,
I am too. I would never do that. I don't
do anything that is even remotely shady because I feel like I'm going to be the one person that goes down for it.
Is Doge going to keep going up, or is it on the down?
So let's talk about Doge. Let's talk about, guys. Tell me what you think about Doge, because here's the concept here. I think if there was ever a time in history for something as stupid as Doge to reach this artificial $1 level, right? It was a penny. Now it's at 5 cents, 6 cents, whatever. This is the time. This is Doge. This is your time. We're living out the movie Idiocracy. We're in the movie, and this is your time. This is the time for Doge to hit $1. Also, aren't there rumors about Elon potentially making Doge the moon coin, right? Like the coin to go to the moon or something like that.
Deep space coin.
The deep space coin. I don't know.
I wanted to ICO. Can we talk about that at some point? I have such a good coin concept.
Are you going to give that idea away?
No, I can't talk about it. Can't talk about it. But it's
can we do a show on? Can we do a show on it? Can we just talk about it?
Actually, because it's not going to be a coin. It's probably going to be a SPAC. Can
we talk about? Listen, everyone will know if you say it now. It started here. Maybe someone in our community will figure out how to make it work for you. Like, can we just talk about it right now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, let me introduce it. You don't talk. Let me introduce it.
People who are here are getting in on an exclusive. This is something that has not been discussed anywhere outside of the three of us and a few of our friends.
Wait, I don't think I even know about this.
Oh God, Jordan, you do know about it. Let me introduce this. Dave Hansen.
I don't remember it.
Dave Hansen. This is an idea he almost ran with during the altcoin craze 2 years ago, and then it bust. So we decided to put it on ice for now. But he has what I believe to be the most ingenious altcoin, alt crypto idea that is legit. It's real. It's not bogus. It's not like a stupid thing. So don't like this is. And by the way, the best part about this is this man right here, is authentically been living this dream that he's about to put out there into the world since we were 13 years old. Okay, 13, 14 years old. That's when he first told me about this dream. He has not stopped obsessing about it since that time. And Dave, this is you, man. This is your deal. And like, if someone in the community can figure out how to help you run with this, I will be your first investor. Go at it.
So, 1985, Back to the Future was a childhood favorite of mine. It was the first movie that made me think. It was the first movie I remember staying awake all the way through. I was like 8 years old or something. Time travel is real, right? You know that time travel is theoretically possible. We just have not yet had the research and time and money spent to actually develop it, right? So my concept was we should fund the Time Travel Research Institute, which would be an institute, a legitimate scientific institute that I would found, bring the brightest minds in science together who want to work on the problem of time travel. And we would fund that through an initial coin offering I had several names. Flux coin was one based on the flux capacitor, but I believe there already is a coin by that name. But the concept is raise money through an initial coin offering or a SPAC, then fund an institution that actually seriously researches time travel development, and the ability. One of the charters of the Time Travel Research Institute would have to be that we're only working on traveling forward in time and back to the time that we initially invent time travel, because otherwise you create a whole bunch of paradoxes that you cannot undo, right? Obviously. So the Time Travel Research Institute its whole mission and charter would be to pioneer time travel. And if you want a ticket on the time machine, whether it's a DeLorean or a hot tub or a spaceship of some sort.
Ooh, can I vote for hot tub?
Yeah, hot tub time machine. It's great. The only way to ensure your spot in the time machine or future generations is through the coin purchase that you make in the year that the coin offering happens. And you can trade it. It's a crypto. It's just like crypto. It has a value. It would have a value that presumably would go up, because as the likelihood of time travel becomes more of a reality, the value of the coin should go up. And just the whole nature of the only way you can actually buy a ticket is using this cryptocurrency has its own kind of, there's an actual use for it. Where right now, if I wanted to buy something with Bitcoin, yes, in some foreign countries there's ATM machines where you can use Bitcoin, but
Doge probably not.
It's not really practical to use Bitcoin as an everyday currency. But as a currency reserved exclusively for the use of time travel, to be able to buy a trip into the future or to get back, and the value and the price of time travel is going to be a free market system. It basically you have to have this coin to be able to even think about being able to buy a ticket on the spaceship, and then it's basically an auction to see who's going to be able to travel through time.
I love it. I love it because, Dave, it's like the type of thing that you can give to your kids, to their kids, because you never know when it's going to actually come true.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is. You just got to start building that up, and if nothing else, hey, you can pass that dream on.
Dave. Is this going to be the only coin that you can take with you through the time travel to where you'll have currency?
Well, it is a currency that will have value in the future.
Yeah.
And we will, obviously, because you take it to the past backwards in time, it basically it destroys the ability to have a stock market or anything like that, because all of a sudden now you can go back to the point where time travel was invented and tell, oh, well, by the way, Apple, you might want to buy some Apple stock. No, because that would just ruin the whole ability for Apple stock to be Apple stock, right? So
can I take the coin to the past and spend it in the past?
You're not allowed to go.
You're not allowed to go. It's a charter.
For the time that we invent time travel, you cannot travel back before the invention of time travel. So let's say, just theoretically, we invented time travel in 2030, right? You'd be able to travel to 3030 and back to 2030, but you can't go to 2020 and say, hey, by the way, that idea that they talked about on Dumb Money Live, that was a good idea. And if someone pops out and tells me right now that they are from the future and that this was the moment that the idea started, I think the internet might melt down. If that were to happen right now, if someone were to realize this video,
they can't come back, Dave. So that won't happen.
Because we are specifically not allowing that as a part of that is rule number one in time travel. Is you can't travel back to a time before time travel existed.
That's a rule.
And Dave, you have management already in place for this, right? Like you already have identified people. You've tell us about that.
I have scientists. Well, I don't have anyone who is willing to go on the record yet, but I do have a preeminent time travel researcher, PhD, university professor who is interested and willing to be a member of this initial science team. I have several scientists that I have actually reached out to who while they think it probably is crazy, like like the idea of science enough to explore a realm of science that has not received the attention that many people think it has.
Here's what I don't understand, Dave. So you're telling me I can't go to the past, but the first Back to the Future, the first place they went was the past.
And did you see how much that messed up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it all
we don't
worked
need
out
that
in the end.
again.
It all worked out in the end, Dave.
Trying to undo Marty McFly's mistakes in 1955. You're telling me you built a time machine?
I just liked how they had the pictures, and the pictures were like people would disappear from the picture. Wasn't that creepy?
Yeah, and we cannot have that happen.
Yeah.
We can only rewrite future
Jordan
history.
just go like people are watching this, and like Jordan just like fades away.
Yeah.
Do you still have your Back to the Future Pepsi back there?
Yes, I do.
Do you have that?
I don't have enough wire to reach it right now, but hang on.
Dave is obsessed. This is no joke, guys. This is like a 3-decade mission of his. That is, what's it called again?
You plug my earpiece back in.
Oh,
top notch production.
That was my gift to Dave. What's it called again?
This is a Pepsi Next. This is
Pepsi
they just called it Pepsi in the future. It's called Pepsi Perfect. But back in the olden days, you would have gone to in the future. You would order a Pepsi, and this is what you'd get. And if you asked for something like a Pepsi Free, they would say, "What do you mean a Pepsi Free? You got to pay. You got to pay a nickel."
Pay a nickel.
OMG, dude. All right. Here's the deal. My account's getting crushed, by the way.
Crushed
Right now.
You put all your money into time travel research.
No, I mean, you know what's so crazy is that like nothing in my account it's not like one stock. And by the way, all of my YOLO trades are doing totally fine.
I'm just trying to figure out if I should buy something right now with the market down like this. Like, should I buy?
We were talking about that before the show. Is this time to buy more Tesla or any of the stocks that?
Yeah, Tesla's down 6%. So if you're looking, it's under $800 right now. You can grab some.
So I was talking to someone today. There's this, rumor going around that Tesla has been. We should probably have a whole episode about this, but there's a rumor going around that Elon has been hoarding Bitcoin, right? And he is going to come out and announce in the next short time frame, the next 1 to 2 months, that Bitcoin is the reserve currency of Tesla and that he's bought billions of dollars, right? Which would be a genius move, one, for his image, one, just for his momentum of his whole world and customer base, right? It also is probably great because it probably pushes Bitcoin straight to 100,000 and immediately triples, right? The value of Bitcoin that he's purchased, which would be in the billions of dollars. So he gets a quick $5 or $6 billion for the company for free. I think it's a fascinating theory. I don't know how much merit it has. But again, guys, the same reason I was interested in buying Doge 2 weeks ago, I think that is a really interesting thesis that even if you say it's a 30% chance that it's true or 20% chance it's true, if it happens, it causes such a massive move, not just in Tesla, but in Bitcoin and all of the miners. I did buy some Riot today, guys. Maybe I'm crazy. I bought some Riot. I have that private mining company that's supposed to IPO this year.
Ooh, man, Riot did not hold up well today.
No, I bought it probably close to its high. It was up like $5 when I bought it, so I don't know where it is now. But I think that this weekend, before we close the show out, I'm keeping a bunch of these Wall Street Bet YOLO short squeeze trades through the weekend. I made that decision yesterday, and that's why I actually bought more GameStop today.
And is that based on like historically you've noticed that like over the weekend people sell off kind of into a Friday, but then it opens big on Monday?
Yeah, they get this community gets all riled up all weekend long. Here's the thing. So you have these dopamine hits that are going off all week, right, from this trading, and then the weekend hits, and they just get riled up in these chat rooms all weekend talking about how they're going to stick it to Wall Street again on Monday. And by the time Monday morning comes around, there's so much pent-up energy to put a trade on, and they only know one trade. It's this trade, right? This is the trade.
Yeah. basket of trades. The
The
GameStop.
basket of trades. That's what I'm saying. This is it. The basket of trade. So I'm staying in my silver. I'm staying in my GameStop. By the way, this is a much smaller piece of what I had a week ago, right? I cashed out a lot of that. I gave $1.3 million to the foundation from the AMC trade, but I do still have some AMC. I have a lot of these trades going into the weekend. I'll keep a little bit of naked. I'll keep a little bit of everything, basically. And we'll see what happens Monday. I think there's a better chance that Monday morning you kind of get a fury of these trades again than not. But who knows? It's really hard to predict this stuff because we don't have a playbook here, right, guys? So something could happen that could scare the SEC can come out and limit trading across the board something could happen that could, who knows, have the opposite effect. I'm willing to live with that risk through the weekend. So that's it. That's what I'm doing. We'll be back Monday with hopefully, I really hope we can do that real episode on Monday and not do another Wall Street Bets, short squeeze, Robinhood episode. Because guys, as much as I love this, I need a break.
Something crazy is going to happen over the weekend, and we're going to have to preempt our episode once again. It's kind of timeless. The show we're talking about is a bit timeless. It's not a super like you've got to get in this today because it's going to go up tomorrow. But there is.
Well, we wouldn't say that anyway, though, Dave. We would not pitch it that way because.
Well, no, I'm saying for you. Yeah. There's no rush for you, Chris Camillo, to invest in this. It could wait a week, and it's a longer term play on a trend that we've detected that we think is a big thing that I've already invested in.
Yeah. So hit the bell, please subscribe. We'll see you guys on Monday morning. I'm going to try to get some rest over the weekend, although I know what I'm really going to do is I'm going to be stuck in the Wall Street Bets GameStop pajama party room every night this weekend.
You're going to be stuck between that and Twitter and TikTok. And that's a dangerous triangle for talk about time travel. You're going to lose a weekend and not even realize that it went by because of the Bermuda Triangle of TikTok or FinTok TikTok.
Yes.
For reality, you're probably watching half dance videos and half.
You know me well.
And then 75% dance videos.
I mean,
that's my break time. That's like when I break off from Wall Street Bets, in our Discord channel, the Dumb Money Discord channel. Like I have to take a break. I go to TikTok and watch dance videos.
You're going to be in the Bermuda Triangle though of dance videos and finance, TikTok, and Wall Street Bets. And you know that you're going to want to talk about it on Monday, as am I. And so we should plan to have the Tuesday episode be the kind of timeless episode. And we're going to have some breaking news on Monday. But regardless, we are going to be here on Monday. So if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the bell, do all those things, like this video on your way out. We are Dumb Money, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.